Commodore Stephen McElroy and his wife Pat, now arriving. Now arriving, Commodore Rob Surson. Now arriving, District 9 Central Region Commodore Susan Thurlow. Now arriving, District 7 Commodore Gary Barth and Mrs. Terry Barth. Now arriving, 5th District Northern Region Commodore Tom Dever. Now arriving, 5th District Southern Region Director of Auxiliary, Commander Eric May and his wife Tweety. Now arriving, National Capital Region, Sector Maryland, Commander Captain Joseph Loring and his wife Lori. Now arriving, immediate past District 5 South Commodore David Adams. Now arriving, 5th District Command Master Chief Leonard Barbizon. Now arriving, 5th District Commander Rear Admiral Keith Smith. Now arriving, Deputy National Commodore, Atlantic East and Recreational Boating Safety, Gus Fermato. Now arriving, 5th District Southern Region Commodore, Michelle Thornton, and her escort, former United States President John Adams. I understand the President will be a few minutes late. I think his Secret Service detail no doubt has a few last-minute items to address. Welcome to the fabulous fifth. Tonight, we capture the spark of members past and present. Please remain standing through the posting of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, I would like to ask the Sea Scout ship to post the colors.
Ready, hook, left, face.
Post the colors. At this time, I would like to ask Woodrow Johnson, our district captain-elect, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Woodrow? Margaret Butler, District Late, Color Guard.
Left face, forward, march. All on right.
Okay. Please be seated. Margaret Butler, District Lay Leader, will remember our shipmates that have sailed over the horizon and are missing from our tables tonight and provide our evening invocation. Ms. Butler.
Good evening, everyone. Can we have a moment of silence? God and Father of us all, we ask thy blessing to be upon this event. We pray that thy Holy Spirit will be upon us and guide us, that all plans and decisions that were made will be executed. We ask that thy hand will be with us and will guide this United States Coast Guard Auxiliary, which we represent and which we proudly serve. We would pray thee to watch over the men and the women of the United States Coast Guard and all that wear the military uniform to perform their mission of diligence and service. In Psalm 107, verse 23, 24, 29, and 30, they go down to the sea in ships and do business in the great waters. They see the works of the Lord and his wonders in deep. He maketh the storm a calm, so that the waves there are still. Then they are glad, because they be silent. We would remember before thy throne of grace those shipmates within the auxiliary who have passed away during this year with thee, and their God and supreme admiral of the universe. And everyone said amen. For those who are new here, you saw a small table set up. It is a round table, white tablecloth, a single setting, salt shaker, a slice of lemon, a red ribbon, a candle that should be lit. The table is very small, but it represents a very big event. What we will do now is we will recognize those that have passed before us. As I read their names, we will ring the bell. Brian Jolsett, Joseph Galt Sr., Ortis Gallops, Perkins Tolby, John W. Conquest, James Rosenberg, Tom Bennett, Hob William Bonnet, Bill Ormsby, Richard Furman, Teresa Ruth Daughtry, Al Young, Lisa Stewart, William Henry Noyes, John D. Mill, John E. Lewis, Silas Henry Pierce, Joanne Adams, Vern Chertoff, Harriet Louise Mill. We thank you so much for your great service. And now you're joined with the God of the universe, and we pray you bid well. Amen.
Ms. Butler, thank you very much. Let me at this time introduce the members of our color guard. Sea Scout Ship 361, Aaron Maroney. Sea Scout Ship 2010, Jennifer Loza Torres, Vivian Oliva, Emily Perez, and the skipper of Ship 2010, Victor Torres. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all very, very much. Our District Commodore will be coming up to the podium, but I've been asked a friendly reminder, everybody should have a ticket for their meal. If you put that at your, there at your seat so the servers know what it is that you had ordered. Commodore Thornton.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fabulous Fifth. Woo-hoo. We are pleased that everyone is here this evening with us. I would like to introduce and have each person stand as they're introduced, that we have some special guests with us this evening. Rear Admiral Keith Smith, who is the commanding officer of the 5th District. Master Chief Barbizon, who is the Command Master Chief of the 5th District. Captain Joseph Loring and his wife Lori, the Sector Commander. Our host sector this time, Sector Maryland National Capital Region, thank you very much for being here. Deputy National Commodore Gus Fermato. Our brother to the north who has brought greetings, our 5th District Northern Region Commodore Tom Dever. And we're going to make it a bookend. So the 7th District Commodore Gary Barth. And Gary can't go anywhere without his executive assistant, and neither can the National Commodore. So we're going to thank our National Commodore for allowing his executive assistant, Terry Barth, to join us this evening. And we're going to round out the circle with our 9th Central No, no. Yes, 9th Central Region District Commodore Susan Thurlow. Okay. Sorry, yeah, this happened to me yesterday. There must be a magnetic in my body that's making it happen. But so a man that needs no introduction, but I will introduce our 5th District Southern Region Director of Auxiliary, Commander Eric May, and his wife, Tweety. Woohoo! And we have 2 other special guests this evening who like to remain incognito, but we're going to call them out and make them stand up anyway. Bosun Hans Schultz from Sector North Carolina. And Bosun Aaron Stapleton from Sector Hampton Roads. And the shyest guy in the room, Bosun Jack Williams, our own OTO. There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We hope you have a wonderful event, and we'll try to behave ourselves, I promise. Okay. This evening, if you are an enthusiastic supporter of your auxiliarist, would you please stand? Spouses, significant others, kids. Yeah, most definitely. Woohoo! Most definitely. Without your care and feeding, our auxiliary could not do what it does, and we thank you for supporting us while we support the Coast Guard. So who in the room tonight, is this your first D-Train? Woohoo! Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we hope you take all of the information, the friendships, the connections, and everything that you have learned here this weekend and share it with your flotilla and tell them how much fun it was. If it wasn't fun, tell Al and Fred. There went my ride home. Well, okay. I'd also like this evening to recognize the support group that helps me through the fun of being Commodore, and that's our district past Commodores. Our immediate past Commodore, David Adams. The immediate past. There is no such thing, but I can say that. Commodore Rob Surson. There's not enough immediates for Commodore Steve McElroy. Thank you. Sorry. So an event like this, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. We all know the analogy of the duck. All you see is the duck sitting calmly on the water while underneath his legs are paddling and going like this. Well, we have a lot of duck paddles here with us this evening, and I would like to let you know and show your appreciation to them for making this such a great event. Our conference coordinator, James Barton. His conference assistant, Sandra Stewart. Thank you, there she is. The district store coordinator, Andy Cardwell. Our district member training coordinator, Jim Thomas. Our marketing coordinator is Kim Holland. So all the fabulous things that you see are Kim. Online registration is done by Kimberly Zimmerman. Yeah. Definitely. Our on-site registration was coordinated by Mike Center, who could not be with us this evening because he was called away back to the Virginia Defense Force, where he is the logistics coordinator for them. But Lo Lumsden and Jason Oliver have stepped right in to help, and there have been a lot of other folks at the registration desk, and thank you all for stepping in to make sure that we're all headed the right direction most of the time anyway. Our food service coordinator is Henry Troutner. Yay! Our live streaming and techie guru is Brad Simpson. Yay, Brad. And we have two strings that tie this all together and make it all really happen, and they keep the cats in the cage, so to speak. And that's June Christian and Richard Gerken. Most definitely. What'd I do? So, if it goes really, really good, let me know. And if there's something that you're just not quite happy with, our chief of staff, Alan Fred, I might as well just dig that hole a bit deeper and go right in. Let him know about it, please. No. It's a funny story. We have recently spent many, many hours in a car together, coming to this D train, coming to Tom's D train up north, and we're still talking to each other. We're still emailing each other, and now we're finishing each other's sentences. So, yeah, it is. But thank you, and we're very proud of our conference staff and what they have done here. So when you see them running around, make sure you give them an attaboy. So, thank you very much. So I would now like to introduce this evening a very special guest who has come from a long way. President John Adams. So if DCAP Travis Collifer thought he had a long trip from the Outer Banks to come to Baltimore, President Adams has him beat, not only in distance measured in leagues, but by time as well. During the Revolutionary War, Mr. Adams served in France and Holland in diplomatic roles and helped negotiate the Treaty of Paris, which officially ended the American Revolutionary War. From 1785 to 1788, he was minister to the court of St. James. After 2 terms as the vice president under George Washington, he was elected president of the United States for 1 term. Please welcome President John Adams.
Thank you, Commodore Thornton. Pardon my delay, ladies and gentlemen, in arriving here this evening. It's only been a journey of some 284 years, which for most of you, I understand the average age of an auxiliarist is somewhere around 60 years of age. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I can do it, so can you. Commodore Thornton, you do share something in common with with a member of my family. I understand, in addition to what you do for the auxiliary, you are a daughter of the American Revolution. Now, I consider my daughter Nabby, and yet you, Commodore, don't look a day over 32 years of age. So, in the service of my country, perhaps one of the things I look back most affectionately is my service in the Congress of 1776. And what I speak specifically, ladies and gentlemen, is my efforts to move the torpid Congress towards a declaration of independency, a separation from Great Britain. And I often mused in hearing my wonderful biography there. As I said to Dr. Franklin, I won't be remembered in the history books, only you. Franklin did this. Franklin did that. Franklin did some other damn thing. Franklin smote the ground, and out sprang George Washington, fully grown and on his horse. Franklin then electrified him, and the three of them, Washington, Franklin, and the horse, conducted the revolution entirely by themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I have some prepared remarks that I would like to share for you and with you this evening. And you'll forgive me, I took the liberty of borrowing a gentleman's bifocals, wonderful invention of Dr. Franklin, I might add. And I am afraid that all these many years in service to my country have caused me to go nearly blind, so if you will. In 1755, as a young school teacher, I wrote to a friend that the only way from keeping us from setting up for ourselves is to disunite us. Dissolution then, as it does now, remains the single greatest threat to the American experiment. The fate of the government depends absolutely upon raising it above the state governments. There is a difference, ladies and gentlemen, between your present and mine. That is, in 1787, we had no tradition of union. And although I was not present at the Philadelphia Convention in 1787, I was then serving to the Court of St. James. I wrote in defense of the Constitution. I pondered about the republics of the past, were small in scale. So what hope was there for one so inconceivably large? What would Aristotle or Plato have thought if anyone talked to them about establishing a republic of 13 states and inhabiting a country of over 500 leagues extent? The bricks and mortar of our republic are empowered in the Constitution, which affirms for posterity that we shall be a government of laws, not men. In 1787, the people of America now had the best opportunity and the greatest trust in their hands that Providence ever ordained to so small a number since Adam and Eve. It seems only yesterday in Philadelphia, when we were declaring we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. A declaration of independence became our bedrock, our foundation. But what is a foundation's purpose but to support the structure of which it will uphold, and the structure to which I refer, ladies and gentlemen, I speak to, is our Constitution. It could not be stated more eloquently and simply with the words, "We the people." In order to form a more perfect union, we the people, ladies and gentlemen, not merely the states of Massachusetts or Maryland, but we the people of the United States. If we span that gulf of some 230 years since these words were put to paper, it pains me that not much has changed of what I believe is the greatest threat to our federal republic is the discord that is present among these people of this republic. There must be three parts to the government: executive, legislative, and judicial. And to achieve that balance, it is essential that a strong executive, a bicameral legislature, and an independent judiciary. Although, and I submit that my detractors will cry monarchist, I will likewise submit, ladies and gentlemen, that popularity has never been my mistress. But if there is to be one central truth to be collected from all the ages, it is this: that the people's rights and liberties and the democratical mixture in a constitution can never be preserved without separating the executive from the legislative power. If the executive power, or a considerable part of that, is left in the hands of an aristocratical or democratical assembly, it will corrupt the legislature, and if necessary, as rust corrupts iron, and as arsenic poisons the body, ladies and gentlemen. And when a legislature is corrupted, we are undone. I recall a few years ago when copies of our new Constitution arrived at my residence in London. I read it with great satisfaction. What surprised me and was of great concern of the absence of a Bill of Rights, something that I had not omitted, and I'm very proud to say, when I wrote the state constitution for Massachusetts, from which I understand is almost left intact to this day. I wrote straight away to Jefferson, thinking, what say you, sir? What think you of a Declaration of Rights? Should not such a thing have preceded the model? Our Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, is the best means possible to cement all America in affection and interest as one great nation. The public mind cannot be occupied by about a more nobler object than our plan of government, a result of accommodation and compromise, cannot be supposed perfectly to coincide with anyone's idea of perfection. But all the great principles necessary to order, liberty, and safety are respected in it, and provisions are made for corrections and amendments as they may be found necessary. We have, ladies and gentlemen, an enduring document. As our public and republic endures, our obligations never cease, but with our lives. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will conclude my remarks until after dinner. Thank you.
Thank you, President Adams. Everyone enjoy your dinner, please.
is a great way for people to give back to the community, give back to the services as well. We're volunteers, but we make a difference. We help out the active side in augmenting their forces, and we get to do jobs side by side with them and help them out.
They played a lot of support roles, you know, from the aux chef program in the galley to comms watchstander in the watch room. And then they're also a great asset for helping us train for our mission. Going out there to do as a safety platform and also giving us a different type of platform to train on and learn how to tow boats.
I would say there are so many opportunities within the Coast Guard Auxiliary to assist the Coast Guard. It's a volunteer organization, and we can do so many things aside from our contributions because we have such a wide, diverse background.
The aux chef program's great. I mean, I've seen some magnificent food come from the auxiliary, some replica cakes of Coast Guard vessels, and then also just the quality of food is great. Every person that puts on the auxiliary uniform, you know, is there to support the Coast Guard. And I think that's part of our strength is having the auxiliary force.
I say look into the different types of job opportunities, career opportunities that are available, and then choose wisely.
Other service organizations may offer you some interesting things to do, but the Coast Guard Auxiliary offers you possibly the most. But if you want to examine vessels, it's to make sure that they have the right safety equipment. If you want to train people on how to be safe when they're out on their boats or their kayaks, if you want to be on a vessel and go out and make sure people are safe on the water, this is the organization for you.
Really appreciate what they do on a day-to-day basis. They are a force multiplier for the Coast Guard. whether it be aviation or surface side. I think the auxiliary is going to continue to grow. I don't think the Coast Guard can do what we do without the auxiliary.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to interrupt your festive banter, and we're going to continue on with our program, just so we can move through a few things. I know I got the, am I getting the stink eye from you, Jack? Is that the stink eye? No? Okay, okay. Thank you, appreciate that. So our first speaker this evening, he leads the Coast Guard operational forces of Sector Maryland National Capital Region. These forces include 8 multi-mission stations, 3 aids to navigation teams, and 1 Coast Guard cutter operating on the Potomac River, Chesapeake Bay, north of the Virginia-Maryland line, as well as Ocean City, Maryland. Captain Joseph Loring is a 1994 graduate of the Coast Guard Academy with a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering. He also earned a Master of Science degree in Occupational Health, Industrial Hygiene from the Medical College of Ohio. Go Buckeyes. He is joined this evening by his wife, Lori. Welcome, Captain Loring. We welcome your remarks.
So my first remark is that I didn't know I was making remarks. But how about that? So, well, it's certainly always happy to be invited to these events. They're a good time. This is actually my wife's first time, and she didn't stand up when they said stand up. So, but just a quick thanks. Whenever I get to stand in front of the auxiliary, and I'm sure Admiral Smith will echo this, and anybody that's active duty, I know it's a volunteer. The auxiliary is all volunteer, and you work with your DOD counterparts, and they're like, "What? You guys have like volunteers that help you?" But the truth is, and this is the truth. We talked just a couple weeks ago. Like, we can't do our job without everything that you guys bring to the table. So, and that's like 5 years ago, I had command in Savannah, and I worked a lot with the auxiliary there, and I would say the same thing. We just can't do everything that the Coast Guard does without the support of the auxiliary. So, just a quick thanks for everything you guys do, and it was a great night, and looking forward to the presentation. So, thanks.
Thank you, Captain Loring. We appreciate you and Lori being here with us this evening. Awesome. At this time, I'd like to welcome our 5th District Commander, Rear Admiral Keith Smith. Admiral Smith assumed command of the fabulous 5th in August 2018. As the 5th District Commander, he has the overall responsibility for the full range of Coast Guard maritime safety and security missions carried out in the Mid-Atlantic region from central New Jersey through North Carolina. This area encompasses 1.4 million square miles of ocean bays and rivers that are unique and filled with historical significance, several major mid-Atlantic ports, the largest naval base in the world, and our nation's capital. Admiral Smith enlisted in the Coast Guard from his home in Cypress, California, and spent 7 years as an air crewman before receiving his commission. His 36-year Coast Guard career has 39. Sorry, 39. Thank you, Commander. His 39-year Coast Guard career has taken him from FORSCOM to JATF West to leadettes, MSSTs, and MSRTs, and now to our D-Train. Admiral Smith, we're honored to have you with us this evening.
All right, well, good evening. I know, Commodore Thornton, I look like I only have 36 years, but really I have 39. So Captain Loring, Commodore Bravado, Commodore Thornton, Commodore Devers, Commodore Barth, I guess we have both Gary and Terry, right? So I got you both. Commodore Thurlow, Commodore Adams, Commodore Sesson, and Commodore McElroy. And all the members of Southern Region, the fabulous Southern Region, and also all the Coast Guard active duty and reserve members that are here with us tonight. Good evening. It's great to be here with you. Now, I've got to tell you, I've never followed a president before. I've done a lot of things. I followed a 4-star Navy admiral. I followed the commandant. but I've never followed a president of the United States. And I've never gone before Gus before. So I feel like I'm a little bit of a pressure here. So I don't know how I'm going to do. The other thing I'm going to tell you is Master Chief Barbizon, who is my senior enlisted advisor, and he travels a lot with me, but we drove 5.5 hours to be with you, all right? We came here, we drove on a Friday from Portsmouth. That's never easy, all right? We drive here, we're exhausted, we get here, we show up this morning, and the first question many of you asked is, where's my lovely wife, Vicki? The first question. And when I said she's not here, many of you looked more than disappointed by my response, that she is not here. Now, I'm not hurt. We're okay. Master Chief and I are okay because we're big boys. But I got to tell you, that was a little bit disheartening that she is not here. And you guys, so we're like an opening band for the main event, which now I think is my wife. I thought I was kind of the main event, but now I'm realizing that you may like my wife more than me. So I will be assured next time I come to the fabulous southern region, 5th Southern region, to bring my wife, because you seemed a lot happier to see me last time I was here than you do this time. So, but seriously, the Coast Guard Auxiliary is special. I have a special place in my heart for the Coast Guard Auxiliary, and we talked about that last time. But I just really want to tell you how thrilled I am for the opportunity to speak to you again tonight as your district commander. And I really cherish these opportunities. We have 3 more speakers, and Joe Loring, I don't know how many times that's happened to me. I've been sitting in the crowd saying, come on up and make some remarks. So welcome to the club. So it's happened to me. And you did well. So thank you for that. And Gus is a little disappointed because he gave was it a 90-second speech? 40-second speech. I think you may have topped him tonight, Joe. So good job on that. But we have 3 speakers, and I don't want to take long. I have some things I want to share with you and a couple points I want to make with you, but I do want to cover some information. But I enjoyed today. For those that were in the courses and the informational sessions that Master Chief Barbizon and the entourage, I call the posse, the Commodore's posse that I was part of today, and we infringed upon your classes today, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed coming in there. And it's great to see the energy and the passion, the professionalism and dedication that you all displayed by being here. We talked a little bit about that for those who are in the class. And I'm amazed by the talent that the Coast Guard Auxiliary continues to bring into the service and ready to serve our Coast Guard and our nation. It just amazes me. And I truly get a lot out of that. I really do. And I always enjoy engaging members of the Coast Guard Auxiliary and learning your story about what it is that drew you to the Coast Guard and your background and your experiences. And I find it intriguing. I really do find it intriguing. And it's really unlike any other element of our total workforce. And when I talk Coast Guard total workforce, I'm talking about our active duty, our reservists, our civilians, and the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Because you are unique and unlike anything else, any other part of our total workforce. What I mean by that, when I go in there and I stand in front of the Coast Guard Auxiliary, I have no idea who I'm talking to. And I love that. Because I could be talking to a NASA's aerospace engineer, or I could be talking to an elementary school teacher. I could be talking to a single or a stay-at-home mom that loves boating, or I could be talking to a partner in a law firm. The talent that you guys bring to the Coast Guard Auxiliary is stunning, and I just find that amazing. It doesn't really matter what drew you to the Coast Guard Auxiliary. The fact is that you're here and that you want to be part of this great organization, and the talents that you bring is absolutely amazing to me. But it's really, and that's why I asked you when I have new members, I say, hey, what brought you to the Coast Guard Auxiliary? Tell me a little bit about your story, because I find that amazing that we have this talent that we keep bringing in to this great organization. And that's one of the things that I love about it. And when we start to talk, we ask, so what is it? Well, why did you come into Coast Guard Auxiliary? And some of it, hey, I was maybe a former military officer or a former military person that stopped serving, but I want to continue to serve. Or somebody who never served but just still wants to serve their country, and the Coast Guard Auxiliary is that mechanism. Or somebody just enjoys boating and wants to continue to serve or you just participate in some type of boating activity. And somebody just walked into a boating safety class and just said, hey, I kind of like the organization. The people that I met were pretty cool, and I got to know them, and I really, really enjoyed it. Whatever the reason, like I said, it doesn't really matter. The fact is that you're here and you're serving the Coast Guard and you're serving your nation, and I find that amazing. When I looked at District 5 Southern Region, and I looked at some of the things that you have achieved this year, I find it really stunning as well. We bring all these collected people together. We say, hey, here's what we want you to do, and I look at some of the statistics. And I don't really like throwing out statistics because I don't think it really captures the essence of what you really do. But I'm going to throw out some numbers here and recognize some folks that did some things that I think are pretty impressive, because I think that's part of why we're here tonight. And then for the last year, and I think this is great numbers, but volunteered within the 5th District Southern Region, 245,000 recreational boating safety hours. I can't really get my head around that. 245,000 recreational boating safety hours that you, people in this room and beyond in the Southern Region, dedicated. And you drove, and I don't know who, I guess it was one of those classes that I walked into were the ones that were tracking this number, but you drove 950,000 miles to support recreational boating safety. I don't know, how many times around the world is that? I don't know what that is, but that's a lot of hours that you guys drove to do that. Flotilla 9-8, and I didn't write down exactly where 9-8 is. Do you know where? Chapel Hill, thank you. So Flotilla 9-8 received the national award as the best flotilla for vessel safety checks and marine dealer visits out of all the flotillas in the nation. Dr. Nieves, who I met this week out of Flotilla 9-6, which is out of Pocosin, I know that one. All right, I don't know why I know that, because Dr. Nieves came into the office and I got to meet him, was awarded the recipient of the Foundation for Coast Guard History for the Individual Award for his efforts in documenting the impacts of Hurricane Maria and Irma. He went down to Miami and down Florida, and then out to the Bahamas, out to Puerto Rico to interview Coast Guard members on the impact of the hurricane, and was recognized for his efforts as the individual award winner for that foundation winner. Mr. Fred Hetzel, I did not write down, he is a flotilla commander of, see, look at you guys are awesome, this is good. I should have done a little better with my notes, but he won the Greenoff Inspirational Leadership Award, which is recognizing the best flotilla commander in all of the auxiliary. That's out of 829 flotillas. That's very impressive. Some other interesting facts here, that the 5th Southern Region is leading the way for the historical memorandum of understanding between the Coast Guard Auxiliary, and the Boy Scouts of America, the Sea Scouts. Did our Sea Scouts folks take off, or are they still here? That's good. So I was at, and then Flotilla 2604, which is in Lake Norman, North Carolina, right? Got, what's that? You're getting a little technical with me here. I was just happy with that. You could let me in. Gosh, this is, I guess, get technical. But anyways, right, west, okay, I'll write that down, is the first, they'll be the first nation with a Sea Scout ship that will open up, I guess, get commissioned in maybe March of 2019, and then Flotilla 2511, which is in Middle Potomac. Anything you want to add to that? Are we good? Okay, and that'll be the second nation, the second that we'll have is a Sea Scout ship, and I don't know when that's going to be, but really good stuff. And so the part of that I want to share with you on this is I was out in Portsmouth at the Coast Guard Day, and there were some Sea Scouts there that were very excited about this program. And I think this is very exciting for the Coast Guard, because not only from the Coast Guard Auxiliary perspective, the Sea Scout program, but for the Coast Guard, an opportunity to start bringing in young people to get them excited about the Coast Guard at a very young age. I think this is very exciting. I know it was in February. I thought it was outstanding. So. And the last thing I wanted to just highlight was the clergy program. 1/4 of all the clergy, auxiliary clergy, are in the Coast Guard Southern Region. And that is an absolutely incredible program for the Coast Guard. And Master Chief Barbizon and I have to deal with some of the stuff that the clergy are dealing with. We don't have enough chaplain, and sometimes there's issues that happen. And Master Chief Barbizon dealt with an issue here. We all dealt with it. Master Chief Barbizon went to the actual funeral of a young Coast Guard member that was killed in a motorcycle accident, and the clergy, auxiliary clergy, I think that was in Sector Del Bay's region, I ended up dealing with a lot of the family members and helping the command and everything. So it's just an incredible program that I just can't say enough good things about it, because we cannot have enough of that. And just seeing the Coast Guard Auxiliary, and that's a tough program to get into because of the requirements, and the Coast Guard Auxiliary stepping up, meeting that need again. So very, very good stuff going on here as well. So I just want to applaud those efforts as well. So let's give ourselves a round of applause for that. I just really want to say that's some really good stuff. But I also, this is, like I said, when you start talking statistics, there's a lot of other stuff that the Coast Guard Auxiliary does, and sometimes it's the little stuff that you do, and I want to hit this real quick. Master Chief Barbizon and I travel around the District 5. We've hit every single Coast Guard unit in the 5th District. All right, that's a lot of units that we hit. And when we go around, we run into auxiliaries all the time. And I just want to hit this because sometimes these are the things that they don't show up in the statistics here, but I think it means a lot. When you go out to a Coast Guard station and you see an auxiliary standing the comms watch, you see a Coast Guard auxiliary standing boat crew at a station. Those are huge as well. And I just want to highlight how important that stuff is as well. Because when you go to a station and you're standing at a comms watch, you're standing at, and some of those people have been doing that a long time, because when I see an auxiliary, I migrate immediately to them. Master Chief and I will go up to them, we'll say hello, we'll talk to them. And the impact that the auxiliary has on those young Coast Guard men and women that are standing those watches, a lot of them are right out of boot camp, and they're sitting next to those Coast Guard auxiliaries and just talking. I guarantee you, when I walk in, they act different than when the Coast Guard auxiliaries is sitting there standing next to them. When the officer in charge of the CO walks in, they act differently. And that impact is so great. And sometimes the impact that you have on those members, you don't know what the impact is going to be today or tomorrow, but it may be several years down the road. And I just want to highlight that it's very powerful. So I appreciate that. It doesn't show up in these statistics, but it's very powerful what you do to them as well. And I just appreciate that very much as well. We have a culinary program that auxiliaries step up and participate. That is incredible. And I think it's appreciate that as well. Ron and Ginger Ellis come to my quarters quite a bit and help out. Ron and Ginger, I think I saw them here earlier, right here. So they come over to my quarters all the time and help out my command special aid, doing assistance there. Something that doesn't show up on the statistics, but very much appreciated by me and the things that we do. We have went out to one of the units, and there was people out there conducting repairs at one of the stations out at, I think it was Oak Island or something. We had reservists there, auxiliaries there from, obviously from the 5 Southern region that were helping out doing repairs at the units. Things that go under the radar that don't get recognized. Once again, very much appreciated. Public affairs support, people like taking photographs. If it doesn't show up on social media, it doesn't show up on the media, it didn't happen in the Coast Guard, and you guys are there doing that as well. So just some things that I wanted to highlight that I'm very much appreciative of what you guys do. And I want to end with this because I want to wrap it up here because I know Gus is getting anxious to get up here on stage. But I've been in the Coast Guard, like I said, 39 years. I know I don't look like I'm that old. I appreciate it, but I don't look that old. And I know that's what you're thinking, right? All of you are thinking that right now? Right? I can go on forever here if you guys don't agree, all right? So I can go another 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes if you don't agree, but I will tell you that the brand of the Coast Guard has never been higher. You hear our Commandant talking that all the time. And so why is that? Why is the brand of the Coast Guard so high right now? We got great leadership in our Commandant and all through our leadership right now. But I will tell you, I think the brand of the Coast Guard is high because of how we perform our duties. We had Hurricane Florence here. We saw people responding in a way that was different. But I will tell you, it's not only what we do, it's how we do it. And everybody in the Coast Guard. And when people see you, when they see you, they see the Coast Guard. All right, it's everybody, how we do our business. And when Master Chief and I go out to our units and we visit our units, we tell them every day that, hey, it's not only what you do, it's how you do it. It's important how you do that because you reflect on the Coast Guard. And right now, the public loves the Coast Guard. Congress is very favorable. We're getting very favorable response. If you don't know this, about 2 weeks ago, I got summoned down to Cherry Point, and I got to meet the president, and with Governor Cooper from the state of North Carolina. Got summoned on Air Force One, and I will tell you, the president loves the Coast Guard just by the response I got. It was unbelievable. That the president was just very pleased with the Coast Guard, and that happens because people in the Coast Guard, our total workforce, are doing great things. All right, so, but when they see you, they see the Coast Guard. And what I tell our members is, it's not only what you do, it's how you do it. And people respect us because we're doing great things. So you guys took an oath to support the Coast Guard, and I would just ask you, this is the one I ask to have of you, is continue to serve, because it doesn't only matter what you do, it's how you do it. And do it professionally, do it with great dignity, do it with great pride, because it does matter. And if we want to continue to have the brand of the Coast Guard be so high and so much appreciated by the people, it's how we do our business. So, and I'd ask you to continue to do that, because I do appreciate it. Because all these things that we do matters. It really does matter. And I'm very appreciative of all that you do for the Coast Guard. So I will end that, and I'll get Gus up here so he can do his 47-second speech or whatever he's going to do. So, no, but I do want to say for you, thank you very much for what you do. And it's a pleasure to come and join with you today. And next time I will bring my wife, Vicki, so you can be much more happier when you see me the next time. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Admiral Smith. We're glad that you're here with us this evening. Well, Gus, are you ready? It's now time to hear from our Deputy National Commodore, Atlantic East and Recreation and Boating Safety, Commodore Gus Fermato. He comes to us tonight via Essex County, New Jersey. It's short. Where he has served the citizens for 35 years in the Northern New Jersey Police Department. Gus brought his talents and personality to the auxiliary in 2005. He's a coxswain qualified examiner, vessel examiner, instructor, and in his spare time, other than doing all that, he enjoys reading military history and binge watching his favorite TV shows with his wife, Donna. Welcome, Commodore Fermato.
Thank you. Good evening. Up until tonight, I had a mantra, and my mantra was, be bold, be brief, and be out of there. Captain Loring, thank you. I am now in search of a new mantra. I am not known for long-winded speeches, and tonight will be no exception. I actually once considered lengthening my remarks. Two things came to mind. The first was I'd lose most of my friends, and the second was that the Gettysburg Address was only 7 minutes. So if I can't say what I need to say in 7 minutes, I'm doing something wrong. And yes, it's true that 2 weeks ago tonight I did a 40-second speech, but Captain, again, thank you. I only would like to speak to you tonight regarding two things. First is gratitude, and the second is heart. My main purpose in standing before you tonight is to tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you, how much I appreciate everything you do. I want to thank you for all that you are and all that you do. You are absolutely amazing. And if you stop and think about it, it's love of country, it's love of this service that drives you. It's your commitment, it's your dedication, because you do everything that you do without compensation or reward. So, when someone asks you what you do in the auxiliary, I want you to look at them, and I want you to say, I make a difference. That's what I do, because you do, and thank you for that. And I'd also would like to speak to you about heart. 3 weeks ago, I was in Novi, Michigan, and I landed in Detroit the exact same day that Dorian landed in the Carolinas. And I was monitoring the storm. I had frequent sit reps. There was conversations between the Commodores and myself. There was news media. There was social media. I knew the storm was pretty bad, but I knew at that point in time we had things well in hand. I got a number of concerned phone calls. And as I walked from one meeting to another, I received a very interesting and remarkable phone call I don't think I'll ever forget. My phone rang. I looked at it. It was no one in my contact list, so the number came up with Houston, Texas. I answered the call, and I hear, "Hi, Commodore, I'm so-and-so." "Hi, what can I do for you?" He says, "Those are our people out in the Carolinas getting affected by that storm, Dorian. We have to help them." And I said, we're monitoring it very carefully. We're keeping very close tabs on it, but yes, if they need our help, we'll be there. He said, no, Commodore, I mean, we have to help them. They're auxiliaries. They're our people. I said, I understand. And he says, I have a 20-foot Boston Whaler. It's on the trailer in the driveway to pick up trucks backed up. I can get from Texas to North Carolina in no time. So my first instinct was to caution him about self-deployment. And I said, listen, I really want to thank you for stepping up like this. He says, but Commodore, these are our people. And I says, I'm well aware. I said, right now at this point in time, we are identifying people just in case. We're identifying certain skill sets, one of which was food service, another was medical personnel, fixed wing aviators, and aux clergy. And I says, what I really need you to do is just be semper paratus for me. Can you do that? And he says, I can. And that's when the light came on in my head. That's when it dawned on me. And I said, how bad was Harvey for you? And he says, oh, Commodore, it was really bad. I said, I'm so sorry to hear that. He says, no, please don't be. He says, our active duty family was there for me. Our auxiliary family was there for me. And the Coast Guard Mutual Assistance was there for me. I said, well, I'm very comforted to know that. I said, for now, if we need someone with your skill set, here's how the notification will come down. And in the meantime, if you feel you need to do something, please feel free to make a donation to Coast Guard Mutual Assistance and or the Coast Guard Foundation. He said, Commodore, before I called you, before I jumped the chain, he actually admitted that, and called you, I did that. And I said, here's, again, what I would like you to do. If we need someone with your skill set, it'll come down through your flotilla commander, but for now, I need you to remain semper paratus and stay frosty for me. Can you do that? And he said, I sure can. Thank you, Commodore. And we ended the call. Before I could take one step, I was overwhelmed with this man's heart. This is the heart of a volunteer. This is the heart of an auxiliarist. This is somebody who was devastated by a storm, and his first reaction is, we need to help our people. And 1 week later, to the day, Imelda hit Houston. So, I want you to think about that as I leave you with this. The Titanic was built by experts. The Ark was built by volunteers. We know how that turned out. Thank you.
Thank you, Gus. And I'm going to have you come back up after you take a moment to breathe there. No, no, oh no, it's okay. It's okay. There's no punishment involved. None at all. That's later. That's later. So at this point in time, I would like to introduce to you our newly elected district captains for our 3 sectors. And if, when your name is called, come up and join us, and Commodore Fumato and I will be giving you your new oath of office, which you will take January 1st. So, District Captain, Maryland National Capital Region, Woodrow Johnson. District Captain, Sector Hampton Roads. Oh my gosh. John Krogman, please. And District Captain, North Carolina, Travis Collifer. Gus? He is. Would you help us?
Of course I will. Gentlemen, you have offered your talents and services in the interest of the better Coast Guard auxiliary. The pledge you're about to take admits you to an office of greater responsibilities and high honor. Along with this honor, you must be prepared to accept certain obligations as well as the administrative and supervisory responsibilities of your office. Your task is to develop the auxiliary programs to the maximum efficiency that conditions permit. You are expected to promote closer liaison between the auxiliary and local Coast Guard units, constantly reminding auxiliaries that their actions reflect not only on the auxiliary, but also on the Coast Guard. As a leader, you are charged with maintaining high standards in all auxiliary programs and activities, never compromising honesty and integrity. Will everyone please rise?
Gentlemen, with the full realization of the demands of your office in terms of time, travel, and dedication, if you are willing to accept this honor, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly and sincerely pledge myself to support the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary and its purposes, to promote its authorized activities, to properly discharge the duties of my office, and to abide by the governing policies established by the Commandant of the United States Coast Guard. Congratulations. We'll take care of you.
One this way, one this way. I'm pretty sure this won't affect my status of witness today. No.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to forego the 7-page introduction for our next speaker, and just say that he's a man that needs no introduction. But please give a warm welcome to our Director of Auxiliary, Commander Eric May.
Hey, I'm going to steal a line from Commodore Dave Adams. Tonight's reading will be the 3rd chapter of the Auxiliary Manual, all 795 pages of the Auxiliary Manual. Admiral Smith, thank you for coming to our D-Train. Commodores galore tonight. Commodore Formato, Commodore Thurlow, Commodore Devers, it's great to see you again. Commodore Saracen, Commodore McElroy, Doctor, goodness gracious, this is awesome. Guys, look around. These men, and Captain Lorien, I'm so sorry. These men and women are here for you. This is your D-Train. They're here for you. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming to support our fabulous fit. Master Chief Barbizon snuck out. That's good. But Master Chief is here as well. This is awesome stuff. Friends, family, guests, thank you. Welcome here. Thank you for attending our D-Train. Like the Admiral said this morning, walking around the classrooms, you can't help but get energized and jazzed up by what you guys are doing. The fact that you men and women are taking time out of your schedule, out of your busy life to come here and spend the weekend in Baltimore. Okay, I ran on the treadmill yesterday because I was afraid to run outside in Baltimore. But you know what? This is awesome. The views is fantastic. So I'd like to give another special recognition to our D-Train staff. I know Commodore's already hit it. Some of them has already left here to go get ready for the after party. But thank you guys for what you do to make this happen. We know good and well this does not happen by accident. I also want to give a call out to my DIROC staff. Donna Gilroy back here, 21 years. So we are so blessed to have our DIROC staff here. We've got Donna Gilroy, Miss Joanne Revis, Mr. Rob Sigmund, you guys got to stand up. Come on, stand up. Show us some love. Karen Spence, Bosun Williams, Craig Smith, Dave Gamble. You guys are what makes the difference. Thank you so much for what you do, because the truth is, the DIROC staff pushes a lot of paperwork through the office. They make our life easy. This would not be happening tonight. How many of you are on orders tonight? Look at that. Every one of those came through Rob Sigmund back here. That's awesome. Thank you for what you guys do. We can't do it without you. First time attendees, let me see those hands again. First time to D-Train. How about that? How about that? So I'm excited to announce that in February, we're not going to do all this pomp and circumstance. We're going to get down to the nuts and bolts of Leadership Academy for every flotilla commander, every division commander, and our 3 DCAPs. We're going to get back to the basics. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, and we're going to give you the training you've been asking for. It's happening. It's coming to a D-Train near you. We're going to call it an academy, but we're going to have fun, okay? So look for that announcement to come out very soon for February. So I want to talk about sacrifice, okay? Sacrifice. You realize, ladies and gentlemen, that you represent the 20% of the auxiliary that's doing 80% of the work. The Admiral talked about 245,000 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the 20% of the auxiliary carrying the lion's share. That's you, ladies and gentlemen, that are out there killing it and smashing it. That's you. Thank you for what you do. You're where the rubber meets the road, and we thank you for that. All of us make sacrifices to attend D-Train this weekend. Some of you are on orders, but many of you are not. Many of you are taking time out of your schedule where you're not getting paid to be here, and you're even paying out of your pocket. I want to talk about the sacrifices of our families. You know, some of us have family members that are also auxiliary members. That's great. That's fantastic. But there's a lot of us that do not have our spouses that are in the auxiliary. I'm so happy that Tweety's here with me this time too. This is awesome. She gets to see the energy and enthusiasm that you guys have. But I also want to say thank you to your spouses that allow you to come and play Coast Guard and to support us. Thank you so much for that. Now, I met a young man, I've known Terry for a while, but I met Terry from Flotilla 1607 back here, and Terry told me a story about what he does for a living, and he said he had to change his schedule around to work 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. so he would have time to do his auxiliary work. Terry, can you stand up, please? That, ladies and gentlemen, is sacrifice. Thank you, Terry. You can sit down. Thank you so much. This is what you guys do all the time. We just don't hear about it at D-Train, or we don't hear about it in the DIROC's office. But Terry is no exception to the rule. We have a lot of amazing men and women in our Coast Guard Auxiliary, in our Coast Guard, that do this stuff on a daily basis. I'm so happy to have Miss say it right. Carrington. Lori, Miss Lori's here talking about the Ombudsman program. Do you know we have over 350 vacancies in the Coast Guard for Ombudsman? Ladies and gentlemen, I know you can nail that one. If you're interested, go talk to her. This is a great opportunity. So, thank you, and I want to leave you with a little quote that I heard at the National Convention recently. Volunteers don't get paid because they're worthless. They don't get paid because you, ladies and gentlemen, are priceless. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commander May. We appreciate it. And you don't get to sit down for long either. So it'll be a good thing. As you will see on the back of your programs, we have some members of excellence for each division that were here. And we would like to call them forward now, and they'll line up here in front. And we'd like to recognize them for all their outstanding work. So from Division 3, we have Wally Jakimski. Division 5. Whoop, whoop. Division 5, Leah Hormansky. Division 6, Martha Hunsaker. Division 8, Freddie Lane. Division 9, Perry Taylor. Division 10, Kelsey Sider. Whoop, whoop. Division 12, Art Flora. Division 16, John Horst. Yay! Division 20, Tom Marchisello. Division 21, Charles Maltby. Division 22, David Arbogast. Division 23, William Smith. Division 24, Michael Burke. Division 25, David Algert. And Division 26, Zaid Nizif. So, ladies and gentlemen, these members have been selected that consistently sparks their auxiliary shipmates to embrace the core values of honor, respect, and devotion to duty. They are connected to our missions by their selfless and meritorious service, while they uphold the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard and the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. Thank you very much. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you. Would Commodore Adams join Commander May at the front, please? So you've all heard about diversity, yes. Every year, the National Commodore has a 3-star diversity award. And I'd like to bring up the following unit leaders or their representatives to join the crowd and receive their diversity awards for 2018, please. Flotilla 63, Division 9. Now there's a lot, sorry. There's a lot, so we'll hold the applause to the end. Flotilla 63, Division 9, Flotilla 93, Flotilla 98, Flotilla 16-2, Division 20, Flotilla 26, 20-6, there we go. Flotilla 21-5, Division 22, Flotilla 22-2, Flotilla 22-5, Flotilla 22-7, 22's been busy, Flotilla 23-1, Flotilla 23-2, 23-3, 23-4, 23-6, 23-7. I think we've hit Division 23. That's very good. Division 24 and Flotilla 24-1, Flotilla 24-8, 24-9, Flotilla 25-6, and Flotilla 26-7. Now, so if you are a representative of one of those units, please. Okay, all right, just making sure. Just making sure. Sixteen once, 16 twice. Woo! So along with the application that comes with the diversity award that every unit puts in, and it's a really simple application for everyone to recognize and everybody to put in. It's a unit building event. I'm going to call it an event because it's an all-day event and it's an all-year process. Seven. Woohoo! Thank you, units of the fabulous Fifth. You are creating a positive environment in our units. You're valuing every member and you're promoting individual success. Thank you very much. So thank you, Admiral Smith, for alluding a little bit to one of our award winners that came to us. So I'm going to read the citation. He was presented his award at NACON and I'm going to embarrass him one more time because I can, because he's my flotilla commander. So he knows better. He just accepts it and shakes his head, and it's okay. So this is the citation to accompany the award of the Auxiliary Commendation Medal to Harry F. Hetzel, United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. Mr. Hetzel is cited for outstanding achievement while serving as Flotilla Commander, Flotilla 59, 5th District Southern Region from January 2018 to December 2018. Applying extraordinary initiative, he rejuvenated flotilla recruiting and retention while significantly increasing its volume in diversity of Coast Guard support. He institutionalized an intensive mentoring program that ensured every new member received comprehensive training and guidance throughout their first months of enrollment. He enthusiastically promoted member training opportunities which piqued member interest and yielded remarkably varied support to Coast Guard units. This included auxiliary food service personnel support aboard a Coast Guard cutter, aids to navigation support to the Hampton Roads Aton unit, and administrative support to the District Director of Auxiliary Office. His contagious enthusiasm was instrumental to flotilla achievement of the National Commodore's 3-Star Diversity Award and its contribution of over 7,300 hours of Coast Guard support. All this was attained while he personally amassed 485 hours as an auxiliary unit leader, staff officer, boat crewman, financial educator, and aids to navigation verifier. Mr. Hetzel's dedication, judgment, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard and the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Fred, please stand. Welcome. Thank you. So, 1 out of 829 flotilla commanders. He's our guy. I know you will. I know. He'll get me back. He'll get me back. So, Fred, it's your responsibility to be the ambassador for the Greenough Award and make sure that the winner next year is also from the 5th District Southern Region. So, okay? Be on the lookout for that announcement to come out. It's coming out very soon. Exactly. Would all the members that are here of Flotilla 9-8 in Chapel Hill please join, gosh, I need another glass of wine. Commander May, Commodore Fumato, at the front of the room, please. Yeah, they're coming. So the National Association of Commodores Award is presented to Flotilla 9-8, Flotilla Commander Randy Exigian for the best flotilla in vessel safety checks and marine dealer visits in 2018, as presented by the Marine Retailers Association of America. Congratulations. Admiral Smith, we're going to ask you to join us at the front as well, if you would, here with Commander May. And Commodore Steve McElroy, please come to the front. I know. From the Commandant to Commodore Stephen H. McElroy, U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. Subject, Letter of Commendation. I note with pride and am pleased to commend you for your performance of duty while serving on the 5th District Southern Region Awards Committee from January 2012 to December 2018. Astutely recognizing that the auxiliary, as an all-volunteer force, receives no direct compensation for their selfless dedication of their time, talents, and effort, You helped ensure members were recognized for their outstanding contributions to the organization. As a member of the awards committee and past district commodore, you understood and valued the recognition of auxiliary service. You were instrumental in the presentation of timely and appropriate awards, as these are essential to the success of the auxiliary program. Exercising exceptional attention to detail and unmatched tenacity, you personally processed over 334 awards during your tenure, each requiring review, minor editing, and input for the executive summary provided to the auxiliary chain of leadership and management for approval. Thanks to your efforts, awards were submitted to the chain of leadership in near signature quality, helping to streamline the awards process while significantly reducing approval time at the Director of Auxiliary Office. You are commended for your outstanding performance of duty. By your meritorious service, you have upheld the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard and the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. You are hereby authorized to wear the Auxiliary Commandant's Letter of Commendation ribbon. For the Commandant, Eric May. Admiral, you're not done. No, there's one more. Hang on, one more. Would Mr. Scott Wigginton please come forward?
He has a really nice new swimming pool that he's been posting all over Facebook, so I think it may be the next part he needs to get the cotton out.
From the Commandant to Mr. Scott L. Wigginton, U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. Subject, Auxiliary Letter of Commendation. I note with pride and am pleased to commend you for your performance of duty while serving as Flotilla 2604, Lake Norman, North Carolina, program visitor from January 2018 to December 2018. Exercising inspirational leadership and tenacity, you astutely identified the need to help better inform the general public on boating safety. Specifically, through your outreach initiative with local marine dealers, you raised awareness of boating safety and helped educate the public on state and federal boating regulations, pollution prevention, environmental protection, and America's Waterway Watch program. Demonstrating exceptional commitment and enthusiasm, you tirelessly traveled the back roads of North Carolina, amassing thousands of miles to promote boating safety. Throughout your tenure, you single-handedly conducted 133 program visits, far exceeding the national average per member. Your efforts helped ensure the public had ready access to information while increasing the overall impact of the Coast Guard's safe boating message throughout your area. Finally, in addition to your duties as a program visitor, you selflessly volunteered over 70 hours in support of auxiliary public affairs, public education, and recreational boating safety, in addition to performing over 8 vessel safety checks. You are commended for your outstanding performance of duty. By your meritorious service, you have upheld the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard and the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. You are hereby authorized to wear the Auxiliary Commandant's Letter of Commendation. Wow. Yeah, let's hope it's not basketball either. We'll be in trouble. So Commodore Serson is going to help us get some people, get their uniforms corrected this evening. We have some people that are grossly out of uniform this evening.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, yeah.
And we take that very seriously in the Fabulous Fifth Southern to make sure that you are in uniform. So those that are infraction or have infractions, would you please call them front and center?
I will. Commodore Tom Dever. Commodore Gary Barth. Commodore Susan Thurlow. Captain Joseph Loring. Yes.
Yep. Do you have their, okay. Chief of Staff's right on it. So there's great pride and tradition in our fabulous Fifth Southern. So our Distinguished Order of the Penguin is awarded to extraordinary risk takers who lead with courage and initiative. These risk takers stretch their abilities and expand their capabilities in ways that inspire their team to achieve greatness in uncharted territory. And with that said, fellow Penguins that are wearing their suspenders, please rise and display the colors.
Oh my God. It's a cheap thing, sir. Is it midnight yet? Not yet? So we got a long time? Oh, good. Good. We got a lot more to go. Yeah, we got a whole lot more to go. No, I'm just only kidding. Did someone lose their cover today? Very well. All right, we'll get that to you. Come see me. You never know where things are going to turn up, and you never know what you're going to find. Next to last thing, so you'll maybe have seen Jim Cortez running around with little green tickets, the Uniform Excellence. Okay, now I know you were not told maybe to bring them to dinner, so if you didn't bring them, that's okay. But we're going to do 2 drawings, and I'm going to hold those prizes. If you don't have your ticket, you can check it later, bring it to me tomorrow or later on tonight, either one. That thing. Number 15. well, come see me at the board meeting. If you have number 486 on your ticket, just come waving your ticket, and we'll know what you're doing. We'll know why you're there. So, shipmates, this concludes our awards banquet for tonight. You are invited to come in your most comfortable clothes, not your jammies. Sorry. They nixed my jammy party idea, so just comfortable clothes. To suite number 11029, 1129, for the Past Division Commanders Association, the after party. Bring your festiveness and come on in. The district board meeting that will be part 2 will convene tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. It'll be in the Baltimore Ballroom right here. Thank you, June, keeping us where we're supposed to go. But until then, let's make a spark in Baltimore and connect with everybody here in the room. Thank you.